Hello friends, hope you're well. Welcome to this week's Dirt Report. Big week last week. Luckily, this week's news cycle has taken a bit of a break, or at least slowed down a bit. Nonetheless, we have some great stories for you today. NBN has revealed the first locations of the full fibre upgrades. Then $70 million was spent to find 17 human malware cases, ACMA telco complaints reports, and Apple iPhone 12 disappointments. If you like this video, then make sure to tap that like button, and if you'd like to see more, then please consider subscribing and supporting this channel. Also, if you want online privacy, watching American, French, and Japanese Netflix, watching overseas sports streams, then check out ExpressVPN. You can get 3 months free when choosing the annual plan with a special link below. And of course, it does help to support this channel. Let's roll the intro. In more exciting news, or rather bittersweet, because if we did this from the start, we really wouldn't be here. NBN has announced the first few areas to get full fibre upgrades. But please don't get too excited yet. The statement specifies that as of yet, it's parts of these areas and we don't exactly know which streets or premises. But the lotto numbers this evening are for New South Wales, Belmont North, Charlestown, Toronto, Carramara, Castle Hill, Holsworthy, Liverpool and Wetherill Park. For Victoria, Lyndhurst and Nair Warren. For Queensland, Acacia, Ridges, Browns, Plains, 8 Mile and Oxenford. Eminem's Town. For South Australia, Osborne. For Western Australia, Cannington and Doubleview. Make sure to check your tickets and visit your local NBN representative to let them know your thoughts. NBN said that these areas are anticipated to have a strong demand for higher speeds, and they have established it to be the best place to start, apparently. So at Comms Day, I have linked the speech below, but Paul Fletcher said construction of the initial local fibre networks is expected to be completed in the second half of next calendar year. The remaining footprint for the deployment of local fibre networks in fibre to the node areas is currently being considered by NBN, as previously mentioned, and will be announced earlier next year. This next stage of the NBN's development will deliver important microeconomic and productivity gains. For now, all you have to do is choose the higher plan and sit on your hands, I suppose. Fletcher did add that NBN will work closely with internet retailers over the coming months to define the process by which eligible customers can express their interest in ordering higher speed broadband service and acquiring a fibre lead-in to their premises. Let me know below if you're lucky enough to be in any of those areas. Next up, let's talk about COVID Safe, a project that, to be honest, I actually forgot about already, but nonetheless, it has been kicking around. But what it hasn't been doing is kicking goals, especially in finding COVID cases. The project costs around $70 million and so far has led to finding 17 confirmed COVID cases. Now, some may say better than zero, but the numbers of these cases in Australia that are currently there, you would expect a bit more to be found through an app like this. The problem was outlined from day one. If they didn't get at least 85 or 95% install base, the app just won't work, and the $70 million will get you zilch, and so we have 17 cases. With some napkin math, that works out to be around $4 million per case. Looking at it from the point of view, it's hard not to call it a failure, but I would like to also submit that we failed ourselves. If all Australians installed it, then well, it may not have been so, but there is something else that this app did that isn't being reported in the mainstream news, and that is how many people came to close contact to the actual cases and how many people were told to self-isolate and test. That is where the value sits, making sure that those who came into contact with a positive case don't become positive themselves. So to those calling it a failure, I would like to say it's not quite right. Please sit down. However, this also is the same government that spent $57 billion on a national infrastructure project that is now being upgraded for another $10 billion because it's inadequate. So you see, it's a bit of a pattern. So let me know your thoughts below. Failure or not? Next up, the ACMA, and they're probably a bit bored at the moment. So this week, they announced that they will be backing a telecommunications regulation reform. In a statement this week, ACMA Chair Nerida Lachlan said that COVID-19 has highlighted that, more than ever, reliable communications are critical to consumers, businesses, and government. And look, I fully agree with that, and certainly this should be looked after, but it looks like consumers are just not satisfied and need more. Does it sound a bit greedy to you? She said that the majority of Australians are satisfied with many aspects of their telco service, but as essential services, consumers now want to be satisfied with all aspects of that service, and they are not. Consumers expect more. So what exactly is this reform going to be looking at? Well, it's all about uptime. It seems that the amount of times businesses and residentials have lost connectivity has surged in recent years. The ACMA is proposing a couple of things. First of all, a clear and properly enforceable rule to deliver essential safeguards to consumers. Then secondly, a registration-like system for telcos to subscribe to and follow these rules, and for those telcos who don't do the right thing, well, bam, kick him out of the club. In recent years, I can certainly remember a multitude of connectivity issues, especially on the mobile side. Telstra comes to mind quite quickly. At the same time, they have published a report on complaint handling, and I have linked both below for your reading pleasure. It seems there was a massive spike in complaints from consumers who were complaining that lowly paid phone operators were not answering their phone calls during the pandemic. How ridiculous. A worldwide pandemic and you can't get through a call center that your Wi-Fi is slow. Oh no! While many complaints are certainly unjust, there are plenty that are very just indeed. The ACMA says that overall complaints are still rather high. O'Loughlin said this review presents an opportunity to recast the rules and replace detailed, cumbersome, contested and often confusing industry codes with a clear set of rules about what is essential for consumers. This will also deliver savings for industry, freeing up valuable resources to deliver better outcomes for consumers and drive innovation into the future. Let me know your thoughts below. Let's move on. Lastly, we have some Apple iPhone news. It seems that the new iPhone 12 did not make the right splash in the market. Yes, it's waterproof, by the way. Apple had to release the iPhone 12 a month or so late due to the human malware pandemic, which may have contributed to its current situation, and even the fact that the iPhone 12 is their first 5G phone, it did not save it from the poor sales performance that we are seeing. This quarter has seen the steepest drop in iPhone sales in 2 years. This could have been the pandemic, but I think this year's iPhone had so little difference that people just cannot be bothered to buy it or upgrade. I'd like to add, however, that Vodafone has months wait for an order on the new iPhone, so this drop in sales could be fairly temporary. On the other hand, an Apple statement said all is well, things are positive, and we made billions. The only thing this will hurt is potentially the share price by a few cents for a few days. They have enough money in the bank to not care for decades. Let me know below if you have bought the new iPhone 12 and if you like it, and if you bought it because of 5G or just an upgrade from a very old device. And on that bombshell, I bid you adieu. Make sure to like this video if you did, and subscribe if you'd like to see more and support this channel. Thanks for watching, have a great week, and I will see you all next time. Bye!